There you go, we're live, I think.
We're live. Heavens. Okay.
I believe the audio is working.
Awesome.
Apparently it's always working. People say it's always working. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're flashing. There we go. Look, the lights flashing. Audio's on.
Awesome.
Check it out.
Hooray.
Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show Live. It's all happening. We don't have Fraser today, so Mick is behind the camera making sure that everything's okay.
It's always guaranteed not to work, obviously, for that very reason. Yeah, nice. Hello, welcome to VCQ Live. Have you managed to log in, Dan?
I'm logging in now.
Nice.
There we go, look. Live now. Live now. We already have 202 people watching.
Oh, that's amazing. Welcome to VCQ.
See? Told you. Right, there we go.
Viewer comments and questions where we answer your questions. Normally, we devote the first 20 minutes to answering comments that came in on YouTube over the weekend. We're not doing that today for numerous reasons.
Yeah.
Mainly because I haven't prepared the questions is the primary reason. So yeah.
But that's fine. So what were the main takeaway points from that show?
People really liked it.
They really did. I think you were surprised how much people liked it.
Friday's show was called 11 Classic Effects Combinations. And obviously there's many more than 11.
Many more
than 11. But we picked them at random, arbitrarily, and we just ran through a bunch of stuff that sounded good together. And people were like, wow, that was really good. I enjoyed that. And you gave us loads of suggestions.
So I think they're going to have to do a couple of those.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of fun.
Which was pretty groovy.
Yeah. Very groovy.
What was your favourite, Dan? Can you remember?
Treble booster into OD.
Yeah.
It's I just think people need to try treble boosters more as a gain stage on their pedal board, because in the world we live in, it's only guys who really use the gain from their amplifier. You know, it's like, no, stick them into a really good dynamic overdrive pedal, and it's just epic.
Yeah, you love it, don't you?
I love it. I do.
I've never been able to make it work, but I think just as many people can't make tube screamers work. So maybe it's that basic yin and yang, you know.
Howard Sinclair, evening guys.
Hello, Howard.
Never usually get to watch you live, so this is new for me. Great show on Friday. Also, thanks for the show on Wet Dry. Very welcome.
Nice to hear from you, Howard. Yes, how does this work then? Live. You carry on, Dan.
Okay,
I'll work it out.
No worries. Simon Mastro Matteo says, is the Morgan yours or is it on loan? It is on loan.
Yeah, we used it today. Dan and I just filmed a pedal jams video, and we used the Morgan. We plugged it in a couple of times before, and we didn't love the power scaling feature.
No.
So we've got the master cranked all the way up, and
epic.
Now it sounds really spectacularly good.
Really.
I mean, it sounds great with it down as well, but it's just not our thing.
Yeah, it's like instantly high gain as soon as you go down.
Yeah, we couldn't find a place there that really worked for us, right?
Yeah, but with it all the way up, it's like, oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
So super chat is on. Top chat is on. Top chat, super chat. So yeah, we're away. Right, okay, whoop-de-doo. When is the video coming out with Zach from Mythos pedals? So we filmed with Zach on, I want to say, Thursday last week. And it was wonderful. And we met his wife and his son. They'd all come over from the US.
Nashville?
From Nashville. Zach's first time out of the country.
Yeah.
It was great. So it was a great show. He's such a great guy, lovely guitar player. And he brought over one of the new Dennis Fano guitars, the Novo guitar.
Novo, yeah.
Oh, man. Killer sounding thing.
Really great guitar. I hadn't realised they were physically that big. I forget what model name it was, but
massive guitar.
It wasn't massive. It was just not a small guitar, which is quite important for me because I can't do small guitars, even though I play that junior every now and again. Yeah, this out, Dan.
There we go, mate. You can,
Okay.
you can share mine.
Okay, you do it.
Okay. Right. Sean Roberts. No, hang on. Whoa, it's gone. Is my personal mission to get Mick to love vibrato.
I do love vibrato. What are you talking about?
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Sean.
mission
Well done.
accomplished. Yeah,
Well done.
yeah. I use it.
It's awesome. Oh, Anthony Murphy. Thank you, Anthony. Mick, thank you for the colossal...
Ball ache.
That's the one. This morning on the vlog preview, legend.
Yeah.
My phrase of the day.
Yeah, it was. There's a vlog of a pedalboard build coming up tomorrow, which the conclusion to the pedalboard build is don't try and cram that much on a tiny pedalboard because you're just asking for trouble.
Right.
It was good and it sounded great, but we did have some problems. So I have learned and I shall move on and I won't try and cram that much on again.
Okay. Yeah. Don't say never.
No, it's just when you have a problem,
It's really hard.
you can't get to it.
Yeah.
And so then you have to kind of redo everything,
Yep.
which is really boring.
Rune Host. This is wet dry. We need an episode on wet effects mixed in parallel in the effects loop. I think this is a little overlooked. Cheers from Denmark. I mean, yeah, we can do that.
It's an interesting one because running a wet dry rig, you are sort of mixing the effects in parallel anyway.
You are.
Because your wet amp is being mixed in parallel with the dry amp. Effects loops that can run parallel, parallel effects loops just aren't that common anymore.
No.
It used to be a thing.
It used to be a thing, but the reason they're not common is because of all the problems we talk about. You stick something in the effects loop, if it's
Out of phase.
out of phase or has latency or whatever, it
Yeah,
runs
yeah.
all those sorts of problems. So yeah,
You can use the Wetterbox, of course, Dan's Wetterbox gizmo to give you parallel effects mixing.
that does that job.
Does that very well.
Yeah. Ben Butterworth.
Hello,
hey,
Ben.
and thank you very much, Ben. That's very kind.
It's a while since we've heard from you,
It is,
Ben. It's
Ben.
nice to see you back.
Yeah. Ben says, with a TC Spark with EQ, can I achieve a setting similar to a treble boost?
Similar.
Similar, but the treble boost is also a gain. It's not just a make louder certain frequencies. There's also an impedance thing, a transistor thing. It's got this same dynamic relationship with your pickups as a fuzz does.
It's if you're talking about a range master, it's basically a fuzz pedal with less gain and different EQ.
And one transistor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about EQ.
Yeah.
But yeah, similar for sure. And if you're hitting
You can get there frequency wise.
yeah, and if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
hitting an overdrive pedal or an overdriving amp, then for sure boosting those treble frequencies will give you a kind of similar effect.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yep. So Music Therapy Les says he bought a used Vox AC30 CC2 built in 2005 2010 in China. Love it. Great amp for pedals, including my D&M Stealth for that sound. Love you guys. Oh,
Thank
we
you.
love you too, man. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great amp, that.
They're really good.
Yeah, I mean that's the big version of our AC15.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people poo-poo a master volume on a Vox. I think it really makes that amp because it makes it usable.
Yeah, sure. Ed Brown wants to know, when is the legendary Johnny Marr going on the show?
Oh, we need to reach out to Johnny, but we need to do it in a way that doesn't upset him.
Hi.
Yeah.
Do you want to come on the show?
Yeah, yeah. You know when you've kind of got a connection with somebody for one reason, it's not cool to then go, oh yeah, and by the way, that thing that's professional relationship that we have, there's this other thing that we do as well, and just
I do it all the time.
yeah. I think it's respect his artistic integrity and know that there's enough people that know us that know Johnny. If you know us and you know Johnny really well, please have a word in his ear and
Yeah.
say, Johnny, go on that pedal show. It'd be brilliant because we'd love to have him on.
We absolutely would. It would be incredible. Boy, oh boy. David Neals, love the show. Best OD is the only OD on a mini board.
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, and his rig is a Strat through a Fuchs.
Well, the Touchstone Gladio is
That'd be killer in that setup, wouldn't it?
Cornerstone Gladio is pretty cool. I really also love the Jesse Davy Duelist. And what a good option if you've only got one overdrive is to have a dual stage overdrive, much like the Keeley D&M drive. In fact,
Yes,
would
indeed.
work really well.
Indeed.
In addition to those others that I've mentioned. Also, you could look at something really small. So J-Rocket have got their, I can't remember what the series is called,
Teeny tiny.
but they're really small pedals like this, really super small. And they do one called the Touch OD, and they've just come out with one that's based on a Dumble Overdrive Special. I should say that 2 of those, which takes up just about a little bit more space than...
And top mounted jacks as well.
Yeah. So J-Rocket Audio, please check them out.
Yeah.
And always great sounding stuff.
Always.
Those dudes have got ears.
Yep. MPT1750 says, I hope you guys do a plectrum episode sometime. You did string gauge. This would be an even bigger tone impact. Yes, I went on a massive pick journey, and ended up using the picks that Mick uses because they were the most
Maybe
expensive.
playing a Strat and a 2-Rock next. In fact, there is a video coming up where we swap guitars and amps.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, picks is really interesting. It's easy to make the assumption that picks sound a certain way, and they definitely do. Different picks sound a different way. But then the thing that no one ever really talks about is, can you play? So you might really like the sound of a pick, but you can't play it. And that is quite an interesting one. Are we off the top of the screen, or is that just you scrolled down
No,
there?
it's just me scroll down.
Oh, okay, good.
There we go. Look, there we go.
Thanks, Dan.
No worries.
Thanks. Oh, we can see the top bar today as well.
Can indeed.
Nice. Yeah. Bit like strings, isn't it? Do they sound different? Yes. Can you play them? Maybe not.
Yeah. Right, EJ Smith says, hello again, Mick.
Hello.
You have given me gas, or you have me gassing for the Ron Ellis pickups. I have a custom shot Strat with fat 60s. Is there a noticeable difference to you? Also, any reasons that you went with a 64S over the 5060?
Is there a noticeable difference between the fat 60s and the 64 set that I have? Yes, massive. Partly because different magnets, different wire. So the 64 set that I have is kind of like the grey bottom thing that happened towards
Grey bottom girls.
the latter part of 64. I'm not sure exactly when, but anyway, they went from Alnico 2 to Alnico 5, and they went from Formvar coated magnet to wire to enamel coated wire, and that had quite a pronounced effect on the sound of the pickups, and they do sound different. I went with them because I specifically wanted that mid-60s sound, and I really like that mid-60s sound. It's kind of a little bit more aggressive, bit brighter, and I think it works better with stuff like fuzz and octave and all of that, whereas your pre-CBS, pre-64 type pickups with the Alnico 2, I think they were Alnico 2, I don't know, and the Formvar wire, so the more classic 59 to 63 Strat set is a beautiful thing. I mean, is a really beautiful thing, but specifically for Blue, I wanted the later sound. Why over the 5060s? I don't know. I haven't actually tried the 5060s yet.
Okay.
That's one of the next things on the vlog. What I'm sort of hoping is that the 5060s will end up in my John Mayer Strat, or the black one in Transit Van, and the 64s will stay in Blue, but don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Right, Brian Lewis, treble booster question. Should I put my TC Hypergravity before my Jam Pedals Rooster? Serious question. Right after my 3-to-1. Any ideas?
What's
Yes.
the hypergravity?
Hypergravity is... I know it's going to be TC, so it's going to be buffered. So you're going to need to put the treble booster first.
Yeah.
Might not be buffered, but yes, treble booster definitely needs to be first.
I don't even know what hypergravity is. Someone will tell us. Hypergravity, what's that? What defies gravity?
What the is hypergravity?
What
Is that a compressor?
Yeah, got to be compressor, isn't it?
Must be.
Got to be.
Do you like how we worked that out?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
All right. William Smothers.
Hey, William.
Says, you two are a nice combo of creative, technical, entrepreneurial motivation. What about the rest of the family, other like-minded creatures?
The entrepreneurial bit is kind of interesting because the only one with any business sense between us is Catherine. So the rest of the family, Catherine does the stuff that keeps us alive on that pedal show in terms of making sure that we don't disappear down a rabbit hole of buying tube tape echoes so we can't pay the rent.
Every day.
Yeah.
We buy them every now and then, but not every day.
Yeah, and my family ends there. What about your family?
No, so I've got my wife's very creative. Well, I've got a son and a daughter, both very creative. My son was actually on the show. Actually,
Yes, he was.
they've both been on the show, actually. Yeah, both very creative. My daughter just won Swindon Young Musician of the Year.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is really amazing.
My son was jamming in his band, just playing drums in their lounge room with this mate over playing guitar. It's lovely.
How does that feel, having your son playing drums in your sitting room?
Awesome.
Really?
Really awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get annoyed if the sofa's like 1 degree off.
Just hearing him do that what they're practicing, they're doing I bet you look good on the dance floor.
Oh, nice.
And hearing him get those fills, I'm just going, yeah, buddy, I was really, really proud of him.
That's
It's
really
great.
cool.
Yeah, really
That's
good.
really cool.
Captain Sexy 90 says,
Yes.
I'm going to hug you guys at Larvik Guitar Festival. You might get one of these.
Yeah, you might get one of those. We're all a bit worried about coronavirus, if truth be told.
My Corona.
There's bits of Europe that are on lockdown.
Yes.
On Radio 4 this morning, they said that all of the Western European economies are going to go into recession because of coronavirus. Now, I used to be a fan of doom and gloom, not so much anymore. I really hope we can get to Larvik and it doesn't get, we don't get banned from travelling, or because we've got the Andy Timmons tour
Yes.
the week after that.
Yes.
So we're all a bit kind of, the best thing we can all do, the medical advice I got from the General Medical Council of Great Britain
See that?
was go out and lick each other.
Ah.
Everyone just go out into the streets and lick each other. The
And let natural selection take care of the rest.
natural selection will take care of the rest. The virus will peak and fall and it'll go away. Then we can all just get on with our lives.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a bit extreme, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a doctor did say that to me.
Randy
actually.
Wilcox, hi Randy, and thank you very much, Randy. That's very kind. Hello, gents, and hello, Catherine. Hope you're doing well. We're
Hey,
doing
Randy, we
great,
are.
mate. Thank you so much. Okay, boy, oh boy. Overdrive Me Jimmy says, "Hey, love you guys. Martial Origin, yay or nay?"
We heard Phil X playing one in the week. Yay.
If you plug into one that sound like Phil X, then massive.
Yeah,
yay.
he sounded great. But then Phil X is always going to sound great. To be fair, he did sound better into his Plexi and whatever the other thing was, maybe a DSL or something at the gig. We need to try one.
Yeah, we do.
Still haven't tried one.
Right. Hi guys, Boss Super OD in front of EP Booster for solos. Will that work? So I'm assuming you mean you're going to kick on the EP booster for your solos, and that will be after the OD. Yeah, absolutely.
Depends
Killer.
on the amp though, because if your amp's already crunchy, all that will happen is it will just get mushier and more indistinct. If the amp's got headroom, then yeah, that will work a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing with the EP is that it doesn't roll off any bass. I think you can.
Yes.
You can either have, I don't know what the latest
switch
one
is
is.
inside, isn't
The
it?
dip switch is like 0 dB bass or +3.
Yep.
I don't think there's a bass cut option, or at least there wasn't when I got mine. So one of the things that can be really helpful for a solo boost is to be able to drop a bit of bass, which is why the Klon thing is so good. It may not actually drop bass, but it definitely pushes upper mids and treble.
Yep.
So it has the effect of dropping bass.
Noise Code says, "Hey guys, I just picked up a new Austin-made Shin Octave Fuzz.
Oh, very
nice.
cool. Very cool.
Have you seen these? Also, they make the best Univibe recreation according to Doyle Bramall. I know Dan loves Shin. Check him out. I do love Shin. I have very
That's for Doyle.
very soft heart place in my heart for Shin because they're awesome.
Have you tried one?
I haven't tried one of those ones, but Shin, they made like my Duo Fuzz.
Yeah.
Well, they made all those and
Yeah.
ended up being sold by loads of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have I have a real one.
Would be good to
But
try
I need
it.
to try one. Okay.
And the Univibe. for that matter.
Okay. This is interesting, and this might end up being a big answer, but we'll try and keep it to a minimum. Lewis Orton says, "Will you ever do a Line 6 head rush or similar and compare them to the real deal?" And we do get asked that all the time. There's loads of people out there who are getting great results from digital emulation things, and which is really cool. It's just not our world, and also it's like there's no possible win for us, because if we plug it in and go, we don't really like the sound of them, then everyone's going to go, well, you're rigged and biased and you're old.
Yeah.
If we plug it in and go, because it's so hard for us to engage with that stuff. So it's just, there's 1,000 other guys doing it. You know, we do what we do. And, you know, we've had H9s and we've had other bits and pieces that sort of touch on that.
Mm.
The one thing about this show is that we get to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff we love, and we feel so connected and passionate about it. Yeah, and that stuff is all cool, and you know there may be situations where we can, but at the moment
I think the motivation for wanting us to do it is twofold. One, it's to justify it being okay, maybe 30%, and 70% is for us to go, wow, that really does sound good, and we've changed our minds.
Right.
And that is literally until we get, what do they call it, a quantum computer?
Yeah.
Doing the processing so the latency is properly gone.
Mm.
I can't see that happening when we're so connected to analog gear. And it's not just digital amps, it's digital pedals too.
Yep.
Analog is really a very moving experience, and it's hard to get away from it, which is not to say it's not totally usable and great value for money and practical. Mm-hmm. And if you're paying for your own freight touring the world, you can see why people go to Helix and Kemper. Yeah. And especially when the sound engineer is yelling at you going, please turn that guitar amp down or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then your tour manager goes, look, you've got to turn the guitar amp down, otherwise the sound guy's going to kill you and we're going to have to hire somebody else. And that's how it goes, isn't it? All the pressures are all external for using that stuff. But I promise you, any single person who uses it day to day, pull them aside and say, what do you prefer? And in your ear, they will tell you it's not the Helix or the Kemper. And we know, because we know loads of people touring with it who tell us exactly that.
Matt V says, can I get a shout out here in Texas so I can brag to my friends? I love the show. It would be cool to see you guys teach a little on some of the playing techniques you use.
Where are you? God, blimey, you're in Texas and you're asking us for playing techniques. That's
deep in the heart of Texas.
That's a big that's a big deal. Texas is full of great guitar players and has been since, forever. Hello, Texas.
Yes. Mr. So. Oh no, I can't say that. Mr. Something. I can't even say that name. Don't try and say it out because it phonetically says something rude.
Yes, it's a bit rude.
On all shows using preamp pedals into effects loop returns, you mentioned not all effects loops are created equal. Please elaborate and keep up the good work. Very interesting. Well, thank you very much for that, Mr. Rude Word We Can't Say.
Let's break it down about effects loops. Level, impedance.
Yes.
Long cable runs.
Yes.
How they are driven and recovered in the amp itself.
Yes.
I mean, there's just 4 massive variables straight off the bat. Not everyone does it the same.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine that you've got your guitar and your amp, and you've got random box on the floor. You don't know what the impedance is. You don't know what the preamp send and return is. And you're going to introduce another 40 feet of cable. And you go, okay, I'm going to plug into this. You're like, it would just be better if I could plug straight in the front of the amp. That's the problem with effects loops. However, if you have an amp that has a really good effects loop, for example, the Mesa Lone Star.
Awesome.
My old 2-Rock Studio Pro 35.
Brilliant.
Then you can learn to live with it. And you
Sure.
can learn to use it in a way that is useful to you because you know it. But
Sure.
then you get the next amp and all of a sudden everything's different.
Yeah.
So that would be the elaboration.
Great. Jamie Brown says, Dan, don't worry about mentioning your products. No one could legitimately question your integrity. Also, mixed pickups different from custom shop ? Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate that. We have them on the show, and they're great to do what they do. It's not the purpose of the show isn't to sell my gear. It's just making me to geek out on gear.
Buy Dan's gear. Buy Dan's gear. Buy more of Dan's
But
gear.
but thank you, Jamie. That's very kind. Okay.
What was he asking about my pickups?
Your pickups and your custom shop.
I don't have a custom shop.
So, the mixed pickups, are they different from the custom shop pickups?
No.
Those Fat 60s.
Oh, that, yeah. So apparently you can't buy the actual ones that they put in the guitars.
Right.
They're different, apparently.
Okay, wow.
I don't know this. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, Zach Briggs.
They
Thank
sound
you,
pretty
Zach.
good.
That's very generous. Have you found drive pedals that work especially well with Jazzmasters? Any example? For example, all my Boss drives sound like cooking bacon with my Jazzmaster. So, yeah, it's so interesting.
We know why that is.
Yeah, because it's that 1 meg pot, it's just zing-tastic.
Yeah, and is there a input impedance relationship there?
Well, you've got...
So all Boss pedals are like 1 meg,
1 meg,
they?
yep. And the 1 meg from the... So obviously not going to be 1 meg output impedance, you're going to be much lower than that. So it will still drive it, but because you've got so much less loading on the passive pickups, like the 250k pot that you see in a Strat, it's right. That amount of resistance to ground is right for those pickups. 500k for humbuckers. I mean, it's right. It's proven it works great. The 1 meg thing I struggle with, but loads of people get great sounds out of it. I guess it's just finding those things that are flexible enough to EQ down. And
let's not forget that when the Jazzmaster came out, it had 11s and maybe 12s and flat
wounds. Flat wounds. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that doesn't make a massive difference on the treble strings, but certainly on the bass strings it does. And a bigger diameter string, you've got to work harder to get the treble out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the 1 meg pots on the Jazzmaster is a confusion. Yeah, it just does sound very bright and trebly.
Peroxide says, "Good morning from Tokyo."
Hello, Tokyo.
Yes.
We were there 18 months ago and had a wonderful time indeed.
I want to get back. I want to get back.
Yeah, such a brilliant time in Tokyo.
So great.
I bought this in Tokyo, Dan.
Yes, you did.
Eric Johnson's signature fuzz face used from Hard Off.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuart Tate. Hey, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Stuart.
I just got a small trees. I feel even though you say how good Audio Kitchen is a lot, I don't think I fully understood until now. Go to...
Is it here? No, it's not here.
I've actually got the big Audio Kitchen is back in my office at Swindon because I'm filming with that at the moment.
The big chopper.
The big chopper, and I've got the big trees at my studio, my tiny little box room in my house.
Yeah.
Where I'm doing the EP. I cannot say enough good things about Audio Kitchen stuff. It's wonderful. It's just born of passion, and every time you plug it, it's like, yeah, man. it's just
proper.
It's so good.
Proper.
So good. Yep. Steve at Audio Kitchen, he's, winds his own transformers and makes his own capacitors. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's wonderful. So yes, his stuff is absolutely incredible. Right. Yes, right up. Why does Fender put 1 meg pots in those guitars? Do people go with lower ones as a mod? Yeah.
Very popular mod.
Very popular mod. Who's the most famous Jazzmaster players out there?
Nels Klein.
Nels Klein. He mods his down, doesn't he?
Nels Klein. Yeah, a lot of people think it's sacrilege. Like when I suggested we would put anything less than 1 meg in the Jazzmaster, a lot of people got very angry and saying, "Don't turn it into a Strat." My goodness me, you'd have to do a lot to turn a Jazzmaster into a Strat. It has a completely different attack and sustain.
Yeah.
And it's the 1 meg was the standard fitment, and if you get it driving and use the right stuff, that is just the most amazing sound.
Yeah.
One mod we are going to make to it. Dan got this really nice grey guitars. What is it called, Dan?
The Skipper.
The Skipper, and it's got the mastery bridge on it. Just listen to that. Okay. Right?
Yep.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, my lord.
Exhibit B.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds like a broken washing machine.
Yeah, so this is going to get a Master E, trem and bridge, which costs $300.
Great sounding guitar though.
It is. It's
Yep.
a brilliant guitar.
Robert Jones. All right, lads, I want to pick your brains over coil splitting on humbuckers.
Yep.
Looking to possibly get rid of my Ibanez AR for a Yamaha SG2000.
Yep.
Is that the SG shape?
It's the one that Phil X used to play with the little horns, little tiny horns. Carlos Santana used to play with.
That's awesome guitars.
Yeah, they can
my
be-
favourite Santana sound was him using those.
They can be
guitars.
super heavy,
It's very heavy.
so just be careful.
Yep.
Yeah, and you wanted to know about coil splitting?
That's not very annoying.
2 coils in a pickup. Pull
Oh,
that
there.
up, and if you've got 4 conductor wiring on the pickup, it can turn one of the coils off.
Not to be confused with coil tapping.
Right.
There's a show coming up on all of that malarkey.
They never sound like single coils though, just
No.
as a word of warning.
Yep.
They do a good approximation. That is a particularly good one.
Okay. Ryan Savinsky says Mastery totally worth it.
Yeah, I wasn't skeptical, but I didn't know. And then when we got the skipper, when Dan got the skipper, it's like, okay,
That's it.
no brainer.
Yep.
Absolute no brainer. Apparently there is a British version that's very good as well, but
Gerard Blanton. Thank you, Gerard. That's very generous of you. Greetings from Chicago.
Hello, Chicago.
Sweet home, Chicago.
Yeah.
Any desire to come to the Chicago Music Exchange
Yes.
and do a show in person?
Yes.
We'd love to see Red and Blue in person.
yes, we would love to do. We started to talk to Chicago Music Exchange last year, and then just the email communication fell down. I think NAMM happened, and I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. So we need to just pick that up. It's such a great store and really great people. Shout out to Shelby Pollard, who is there and is the Jazzmaster person there.
Yes.
Would be great, actually.
So great. I'd love
think
to go
I think
there.
we're going to wait till coronavirus subsides.
George Betley, any thoughts on Cornell amplifiers? Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, we played
Little Plexi.
Plexi as a show coming up this Friday, where we go to Macari's in London with Josh Scott of JHS and play a load of vintage tone benders. And one of the amps we use is the Cornell Plexi, little 1x12, I guess, like the 1974 2061 circuit, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Claude Stuckey says, get Nels Klein on the show. Yeah,
That would be great.
would be awesome.
One of the most moving things I've ever seen was Nels Klein doing a live performance piece with an artist called Norton Wisdom.
Nice.
I'm surprised I remembered that.
What's his name?
Not Norman Wisdom.
Oh, gotta say,
Norton
that'd
Wisdom.
be a show I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Right. John W. Doyle says, Dan, being a connoisseur of flange, well, I don't know, have you tried a Morley Pro Flange, a 70s chrome behemoth? Thank you, guys. Love the show. Tremolo after verb. Tremolo after verb. It's
Yes.
live.
Yes. Even though it doesn't say that on this T-shirt.
Yes.
There's no right answers, Dan.
There is no right answers. I haven't tried the Morley one.
Morley got
Yeah.
in touch recently. Actually, I think
Did
they're having a bit of a re-push.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've redone their wires or something, or about to redo their wires.
Mark Kit says, what does Andy Martin smell like? You guys have met him.
He smells like peaches. Fresh peaches. And here's my peach tone.
Okay, let's see. I know it's not the most desirable sound, but I love that you can hear the trem arm clicking on an old Roland S. Howard records.
Roland what?
Roland S. Howard. Do you know him? It just jumped up. Where's it gone? Apparently you can hear the trem arm clicking on those records.
Oh, I see.
Fishy Paul says, I was playing guitar. Did I miss much? Not really.
Not really.
If you don't know, the mastery chamber lets you adjust the tension on the arm, so you can set how floppy it is or how well it stays in where you put it.
Nice.
Very good. Very
It is a
good.
beautiful piece of engineering.
Yep.
No doubt about it. And it doesn't look weird. That's the
that's right.
normal problem I have with like retrofit stuff that works better. Is it looks weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't look weird. The
Yep.
bridge looks a little bit weird, but I can live with that.
Ben Daly says, "Hey guys, thoughts on Peavey classic amps? Never heard you mention them before." My first, my first amp was a Coronet, but soon after I had a little Peavey thing, and I think everyone's owned a Peavey at some point. in
I've
their
had a
guitar
classic
playing career.
50 Blues, the one with the 15-inch speaker, whatever that was called.
Oh yeah,
Delta Blues.
Delta Blues. Yep.
Yeah. Whenever I think about the PB Classic series, I always think it's basically almost the same as the Hot Rod Deluxe.
Right.
In that world, the kind of Fender Hot Rod series. Although I think maybe they were 40 EL84s. Certainly the 30-watt one was.
Yeah. The Peavey one was.
Yeah, the 50 I think was. I can't even remember. Carvin had a Carvin Nomad as well. That was sort of a very similar thing.
Right.
Yeah.
John Halgren says, "Greetings from Sweden. Would love to see an episode on effects and amps for pedal steel, perhaps with Tim Marcus from Milkman Amps."
Oh, it would be so good to get a great pedal steel player in. They are rare beasts.
Yeah.
Rare beasts. That is.
Let's find a really good pedal steel player because it's such an amazing thing.
It's an art form
Yep.
beyond
Yep.
anything I can comprehend.
Michael Webb says, "Hey guys, I recently traded my DSL 40C for a Rivera
Yep.
5512 and wondered
cool.
if you guys have any experience with Rivera amps. You have,
Yeah.
haven't you?"
Yeah. So Paul Rivera, for anyone who doesn't know, I think worked at Fender and did a lot of Fender mods. Some very well-regarded Fender amps over the years, and then obviously went out on his own. What do I think of Rivera amps? All the ones I've played have that kind of very presency response, kind of requires a confident player, I always thought, a Rivera amp. No doubt there are many different ones in the range. What did he say, 5512? I don't think I've played a 5512.
Right.
But
But he knows his stuff.
Oh,
like
God.
he's a legend in the industry. So.
Great amplifiers.
Yeah.
Great amplifiers.
Matt Moore says the DoD Looking Glass works great with Jazzmasters. It has
Ooh,
an input
nice.
filter.
That is a really killer pedal.
Really
do you remember
killer.
when we heard Ford?
Yeah, I do.
What's his name?
And we
Playing
never
it?
got one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did we not?
No. Yeah, exactly. We said the Ford, and he's the most amazing guitar player with that old 335,
Yeah, he was incredible.
and he was just killing it.
What's his name? Ford
Ford, I can rock better than anyone.
something. Near where we live, there's a road sign that says Ford and Klimping on it.
Okay.
And it was Ford Klimping. It's like the car they never made.
For now.
Yeah.
Ford Klimping. Right, Brandon Smith 85. Hello from North Carolina. Just
Hello.
wanted to say that I love the show. That's
you.
very generous, Brandon. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Yes, hello and welcome, and thank you for watching the show.
Have we gone off?
No, it's just I've still got everything's still coming in. It's just
Yeah, we're still going.
it's still going. No,
Happy
I'm
days.
good. I'm good. Boy, oh boy. Josh Crother says, "Why doesn't the Jazzmaster have as much sustain as a Strat?"
That's a really good question.
It's a really good question.
That's what I've noticed about the Jazzmaster. Maybe it's in the bridge. Maybe it's. Let's have a look. Let's make some broad, sweeping statements that upset everybody, Dan.
Matt Moore says, "There was a blip, but you are good."
First thing, the strings come through the back here,
Yes.
so they're anchored all to the top of the guitar, not through the back of the guitar. That has got to affect the fundamental resonance. If you listen to a P bass, for example, that has 3-body stringing and one that has top loader, same with the Telecaster, they are different instruments.
They really are.
So that's got to be a part of it. And then also, you've got all this shallow string angle going on everywhere. There's no significant string break angle anywhere, which means less pressure
Yep.
into the guitar. The bridge, the way it sits, it's kind of on 2 posts. It's not connected to the body. Doesn't sustain badly though, does it?
That's fine. Is it the same string scale?
Yep.
Right. It just feels longer. Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Oh, we should still have incidental music in between the in the questions. So you finish a question and we go.
La.
No.
Sorry,
The
you wanted me to resolve it.
Yeah. So we just finish a question.
Oh, okay.
And then we get.
Let's try it again. And from Zachary Birdwell, I heard from a few places that fuzzers sound their best with the volume maxed. Any truth to that? None. My fuzz tone is way louder than my drive volume when I do that. Well, first of all, it's not that they sound better, but they do change the sound. My favourite sound is the volume turned all the way. You showed me this. Volume maxed all the way up. Fuzz pretty much, pretty high, not necessarily all the way up. But then the volume just comes down a hair, and you'll hear there's a fundamental change in the tone by just bringing it down a hair. And
When the sound of frying bacon goes away.
yes, that's the one.
As Philip said to me once.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yep. And Barnaby Logan says this week, given it was International Women's Day yesterday, don't you think you should try and feature more female guitarists? Carmen Vanderberg, perhaps? We feature whoever we can get on the show. And
We don't choose anyone on the basis of their gender. It just so happens that most guitar players tend to be male, and they're the ones that want to come on the show. So if there are female guitar players out there who want to come on the show, not because they're female, but because they want to come on the show,
yep.
please get in touch and we will gladly have you along.
Yeah.
I don't want to discriminate against anyone on the basis of gender.
I would have loved to have got Samantha Fish on, but she's really busy. Can't make it.
Yeah, we have invited a few people who...
We did have Gina on, but not because she was female, because she's amazing.
Yeah. And I think there is a case where certain people feel like maybe they don't want to come on the show for whatever reason. We have had that before. So, yeah, I promise you it's not us being sexist and misogynists. It's just who's available and willing to come on.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Sunset 1997 says...
Hang on.
Sorry. And Sunset 99.
It's like Friends,
It is. It's very, that's great. I love it. I love it. And Sunset 1997 says, are you really driving the power amp tubes by setting the master at 10, but the preamp gain at 2? It depends. Okay. If you have your amplifier set on 10 and everything's set on 10 and cranked, but you don't play anything through it, you're not driving anything. It all depends on what you're driving at the input. Now, if you have the power cranked and you have the input on 2, you are probably going to limit the amount of stuff that can get through to the power section. Sorry, I'm being professional and I'm holding back a burp. I'm going to keep talking through it like nothing is happening. However, you get to the point where as you drive the power section up, then it starts to limit, and that's like the maximum headroom. So it depends on, you can have the input set at 2 and hit it really, really hard, and yes, you will be driving that power section. It just depends on how much how much input level you're putting through the amp there.
Also, in a lot of amps, you're not necessarily only hearing power amp overdrive. Really, really, really takes a crazy amount of signal to make power valves distort. What you're probably hearing is the phase inverter, the transformer,
all that stuff,
and everything else in the chain. So all this talk about, 6L6s sound like this, EL34 sound like that, it's all a bit reductive.
Yeah, they do have certain characteristics, but
that they do.
Yeah, but
it's usually to do with the circuits that they're in, though.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Andre Butera. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's do
Andre Butera says, hello, Dan and Mick. I'm looking for an amplifier to use at home. I only play blues and rock.
Yeah.
And I have a maximum.
What else do you need to play?
And I have a maximum of $1,000. Could you help me?
Where do you live? In America, by the looks of things.
Yeah, $1,000.
Oh, that's tough. And only playing at home. That's really tough.
It is tricky. So what can you get for $1,000 second hand?
Well, the
That's
thing
really
is,
good.
if you're playing at home, you don't need anything that's loud.
No.
I
It's,
mean, you could.
it
It's
depends
almost
what music
anything,
you
isn't
like.
it?
Yeah. Blues and rock. I say blues and rock.
Is it the Fender end of blues and rock?
Yeah, is it the Marshall end?
Is it the do you
is it
like
everything high watts? Oh,
Do you love the idea of a Fender Pro Junior with a 10-inch speaker and a kind of that kind of driving mid-rangey sound, or do you like the idea of a big speaker cabinet so that you get the sort of extended bottom end and
Yeah.
deluxe reverb kind of world? That's a really tough question.
it is a really tough question. I'm wondering what you get. Can you get a Silvertone or what are those Sears amps? What are they? Are they the Silvertone? Because they're still really good value for money and they sound incredible. There. Well, I don't know if you're going to get a Sovtech MiG 50 for $1,000 second hand, but have a look because they're not very expensive.
That's an insane home amp, though, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Depends on your home.
Oh, sorry, it is an insane home app. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
$1,000. What would you buy? Come on, right? You got $1,000 down. You got to buy an amp for home.
Tape delay.
You'd buy tape delay. What would I buy? It's really tough. It's really tough. I don't know what I'd buy. Probably a used deluxe reverb is what I'd buy.
Yes. Or
Again,
Princeton.
In a Princeton.
Princeton. There we go.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what you get.
a Princeton.
That's it. Princeton.
Yeah, and if you
I want
can
to see
find one
pictures.
with the 12-inch speaker, go for that.
Yep. Post pictures of your newly acquired Princeton on our Facebook
Yeah.
page. Would love to see it. Right. Boy, oh boy.
Hang on.
Sorry. And Stephen Manley says, any thoughts on doing schematic breakdown episodes with Josh Scott, Brian Wampler, Robert Keeley? Why do pedals do what they do? I like that.
Is Catherine trying to come in?
She is trying to come in.
No.
Unless
Oh,
we
she
have
may
a-
have been just going to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, blimey. That's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
It is a rabbit hole, but the rabbit hole wouldn't mind going down. It'd be fun. Mark Coote, favourite Klon pedal, Chief Screamer type pedal, Blues Baker pedal, Dumble type pedal. Love to hear your favourites, Mick and Dan.
My favourite Klon is my Klon.
Yep,
And my second favourite Klon is the Ryra,
yep.
but we haven't tried the Mythos special edition yet.
Which looks awesome.
Yes. I'm hoping that this will be my favourite. Favourite tube screamer would be my Keeley modded TS808, not with true bypass.
Yep.
What was the next one?
Blues Breaker. Gotta be quick because they're racking up.
I don't have one. Black Box.
King of Tone. Dumble.
J Rocket. Whatever it's called.
Sure. Perfect.
The J Rocket, the Dude. But they've just brought a new one out which we haven't tried yet.
Okay. Felix Apps says, thoughts on the Orange Pedal Baby, Class AB amp. And do you think that the Victory preamp pedal would sound good through it?
I just can't get with that solid state power stage.
It's challenging.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It
just
works.
feels...
It
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
The one that works for me is the Victory V4, the Duchess, because it's got a valve front end.
Yep.
And it just seems to impart some life into it. But just that solid state power section is tough.
I like the blue take on it where they put a little valve
Yeah.
in the power section to colour the power section.
And if you hit it with a nice valve preamp, like
Yep.
you're saying, that could be a real game changer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Patrick Carroll. Sorry, gotta be quick
Oh yeah. Why have we got to be quick?
because there's so many coming through. And Patrick Carroll says, Mick and Dan, I love how the show continues to evolve. Any advice on bending vibrato aside from the usual turn the doorknob technique? Yeah, so I think because your vibrato is awesome, and I've been watching you for years now, trying to see how it is that you do what you do.
I'm going to give you two vibrato things to try. One is, let's say we're playing an A. The big open-handed Phillips Ace,
Yep.
Stevie Ray,
Okay.
and that requires taking your whole hand pretty much off and you're just pivoting on the first knuckle of your index finger. And that can really be annoying. The second one is to bend at the vibrate at the top of a note.
Oh, that's nice. Because
Yeah?
that goes up and down.
And
Yeah.
it can just give you some on the top of the note. The vibrato to not do is the kind of, I'm going to do vibrato now. It's quite hard. So maybe just ease into it. Don't hit the vibrato straight away. Let the note go. And give it some at the end.
Nice.
That's my 2 vibrato tips.
Very good.
Yeah.
Dan P says, Snarling Dog Mold Sport. I need more info,
Cool.
please. I've set one of these up on Aziz Ibrahim's board.
Ah, Aziz. We saw
Aziz.
Aziz at the guitar show. It
Yep.
was so lovely to see him.
Yep. I haven't seen Aziz in years.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were really good friends, and I built some rigs for him, and I would love to catch up with him again. He is an immense guitar player. So
Yeah.
would love to see it. So the Mold Sport, I cannot remember, but I'll look it up and find out because it was a really cool thing. Jeff Martin says, I was trying to think of a good question, but I couldn't. So here's $5. Thank you, mate.
Only everyone in the world was like you, Jeff.
Just so you guys know, any money that comes through the top chat, it just helps us pay for production and for Fraser and Simon and stuff. None of it goes on beers. Right.
I think we need a...
Ben Martinez says, hey, Dan.
Hey, you've got to wait till I finish.
Sorry, I was going to do spoken word. And Ben Martinez says, hey, Dan, have you bought that killer 1965 telly? I love it. How about you, Mick? Yes, I have purchased that guitar. I have handed over all of my fun vouchers. And it's in its case at the back. So, yes, but I have purchased it. Tis mine.
It is yours. No, I haven't. Yeah. I think I'm going to buy an SG before I buy an old Strat, unfortunately.
How about I buy an SG?
It doesn't make any sense because, you know, an SG is going to be, what, 3,000, 3,000, which is a third of the Strat I want. So I should just save my money and wait for the Strat. But the idea of ever having 10 grand to spend on a Strat just seems...
Well, you won't have it if you go buying SGs willy-nilly.
That's the point, Dan. That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. Bit grumpy about it, if I'm honest. If I really wanted it, I'd do it, wouldn't I?
You would.
That's the thing. I'd just go to the bank, borrow the money and do it. So there's something in me that doesn't want to do it.
Bless you, Mark Case. Give him £5 and says, this is solely for beer. Thank you, Mark. That's very kind. Henrik Tano says, hey, have you guys played like a 63, 335, 345, 355?
Yes.
Yes. The 355, which is the no, it's completely high, right? The 355? 345. What's the one that doesn't have the block in the middle?
330.
The 330. Okay. That is one of my favourite guitars ever.
335, either dot inlays or blocks.
Right.
No headstock binding. 345, split parallelograms, headstock binding, and usually a varitone, but not always. 355, blocks, double headstock binding, I think, and the full accoutrement. 355 was top of the heap, as it were.
Zachariah Birdwell, Zach's been very, very generous today. Played any Benson amps? I have a Vincent 30 watt, and it's so amazing. I feel as though I'll never need another amp. Has a unique 1 watt power tube dirt channel.
We only ever hear good things about Benson stuff.
Yeah, so it's the same guys that make the preamp, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Only ever hear good things about Benson amps. Would be good to try one. I mean, I'm sure we've played one at NAMM show, but not engaged with it in a meaningful way.
Yep. Philip Spectral says, of all your guitars, what's the one with your favourite neck and why?
That is a tough one.
It's a really good question, though.
It's probably any of my Collins guitars.
Yeah.
Because they're really big, chunky, lots of wood in them necks, which contributes greatly to how good the guitars sound, in my opinion. However, having always been a fan of large necked guitars, I've played quite a few Strats recently which have small necks, and I rather like them too. So I don't know.
The mine is a 65, but because if it was a revelation to me, so Butters and Red, basically all the finish has gone off the back of the necks, and they feel delicious to play. They're so nice. The 65, I'm pretty sure it's an overspray. Has all, so yeah, 99% of the lacquer still on the back of the neck. And there's a brightness and a top end to it. It's a thick neck as well, but there's a brightness and top end to it that I adore. It's all telly, you know. So that it does make a difference, that stuff.
There is something about those old necks, aren't there? The thing I love about this guitar, 1961 Fender Strat, is the taper. As it goes up the neck, it just gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And for some reason, maybe they do on the master builds, but yeah, I just don't see that much anymore. I really love that. I really love that.
Wayne Cook. Hi, Wayne. Wayne Cook says, hi, guys. Love the show. Only question when Mick's finished messing around and making three guitars sound the same because we're unplugged. Can I buy the Transit van? See you at Lil's.
I'm sort of attached to that guitar.
It's cool. I like Transit
Bizarrely.
van.
Yeah. I got it for a really good price off a very nice guy, and that means something to me. And yeah, it's just a very different guitar from Blue, and it's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
So, no.
Rachel from the Music Man VC. Any future planned appearances with Dave Gregory, lads? Not at the moment. Dave is very busy with Big Train. And
That was my version of making plans for Nigel.
here you go. Yeah, we used to play that one. Yeah. Anyway, awesome
This is all
tunes.
This is all wrong.
Sorry.
Give me the laptop.
Right. Jeremy Colassa says, great. I'm seeing the B from Reverb on Mick's shirt merging with Rotary to create Brotary.
Everyone says that.
And now I can't unsee it. Brotary.
Didn't Chris Buck say that as well? Oh, Dave Gregory, Chris Buck. Yes, we should invent the Brotary. It's like a really friendly rotary speaker.
Mark Williams says, as T-shirt sales dry up, you could charge guitar nerds £50 an hour to play with all the toys in your studio.
If T-shirt sales dry up, we turn the lights off and we go home. It's as simple as that.
Yep. Rydock says, Dan finally got to hold the vintage Strat. Yes, I did.
Oh, mate, here you go.
No. I just touch it.
Okay.
And
There's a whole episode where we swap guitars and I play the 65 Telly. Dan plays the this Strat, and it's really interesting.
It is really interesting. That thing. I know I shouldn't say too much about it, but it is a very, very special guitar.
That was actually a friend's one,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Ben Martinez says, haha, Mick, stop biting around. No, stop something around the bush and buy your favourite Strat. Unfortunately, it's not for sale.
It's not for sale.
Which is why he hasn't bought it.
Yes, if it was, I would buy it. I would find a way.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Seriously, I would eat beans for 6 months if it meant that you could buy that guitar. But yes, 'tis not for sale.
Well, here's the thing. So this is a really amazing guitar. We go to the Birmingham Guitar Show at the weekend. Do I want to take this to the Birmingham Guitar Show?
Yeah.
Am I going to fly to Larvik with it? Would we go when we go on tour with Andy Timmons? Am I going to take it on tour? Nope.
Right.
Because it's too much of a risk.
Sure.
So it is a tough one, owning a guitar like this.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future. I suppose if you're at a point where vis-a-vis your income, the outlay is less significant.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Joe Perkins bought himself an ES 330 last month. Stunning guitar. Well done,
Nice one, Joe. What
Well
finish did you
played.
get? Is it a Memphis one? There was some cracking ones kicking around. Natural ones, sunburst ones. just beautiful things.
Tom Bromby. Thank you, Tom. That's very kind. Any chance you could release a QMX with inserts, preferably movable? I'd replace my QMX 6 with one for a better wet dry rig. Love you guys. Thank you, Tom. Because the QMX is sort of relay based, it's very, very difficult to do. But
What's an insert?
just a point between the loops so you can plug things in.
Right.
But the QMX is like, it's just designed to be a really simple, solid switcher with everything linear. But look, I'm constantly, I get insomnia, so I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sit down and just write stuff out, and then I sit
Could you
down.
do some show plans? If you wake up at 3 a.m., could you plan some shows?
Okay,
That would be awesome.
Okay, I've got. You should
Try
see
that
my
next
list.
time. List is good. What we need is extra information after the title.
Okay,
Let's do that.
all right.
That's the sound of Dan's brain at this moment.
No, that's the sound of the cricket show. That's the sound of what's the cricket song? Sharona. Funny to watch you. Sub Rosa says thank you, Sub Rosa. That's very kind. Says thank you guys. Funny to watch you guys trying to hold back playing classic riffs to showcase sounds. How big of a problem is it? Are you those 3-second homages?
It's a really interesting question. So if you play, we've played the odd copyright riff. If you play just a few seconds, it's pretty hard to get picked up. But what happens is, so as you'll know, when you watch a YouTube video, any YouTube video, but that pedal show included, an advert plays at the beginning, right? Please, please, please watch the adverts, because if you watch the adverts, we get paid. And the money you get paid on a video is a pretty small amount per video. But once you've got a few hundred videos out, that small amount does things like helps pay the heating bill and the light bill and gets Razor paid and Simon paid and all of that. And if there's any left, buys me and Dan a fuzz face or two. So that money is really important to us. And what happens is if you play a copyright track, the owner of that copyright goes, I'll have that.
Yep.
And just takes literally 100% of your money.
Yep.
Pretty
So
much.
the video could be an hour long. We might play that for 30 seconds. They still say, well, I want the whole...
Yeah, and that's out of whack. There's no way that they should take all the cash for just a tiny proportion of the video. However, that is the law and that's the way it is. So, well, indeed, it's YouTube's terms and conditions. So that's the way it is, and we abide by them. So how much of a problem is it? Not really, unless you play Beatles, AC/DC, and a few others. Some copyright owners are way, way, way more on it, and
Zeppelin.
indeed litigious than others.
Yep.
Yeah, I learnt that in magazine land.
Yep. Joe Perkins says, yes, Memphis ES330 Cherry. He's put OX-P90s in it. Yes, OX4s.
Guitar.
OX4 pickups are the pickups that are in my Les Paul. He makes Mark Stowe, I think his name is, makes stunning
Yeah,
pickups.
I didn't know he did P90s. That's very cool.
No, neither did I.
What a great guitar.
Oh, Bryson Cook says, hey guys, what's your thought on trading gear? What's the best way not to lose an arm and a leg trying to get the gear you want? It's too hard to play guitar one-handed. Man,
Buy and sell on Reverb.
yeah,
If you buy right, selling right is easy.
yeah,
You buy good stuff, branded stuff.
yeah.
That's well renowned. It's when you buy all the other stuff that it's very hard to sell that stuff.
Yeah.
I've had retailers who will remain nameless to me, that when a Gibson or a Fender comes in, they just says yes, and the margin is this, and when anything else comes in, they say maybe in the margin's that.
Yeah.
So, and it's true with pedals as well. But you can buy and sell on Reverb and not lose a huge amount of money. In fact, you can even make money if you buy smart. But
Yeah. How we doing? Okay.
oh,
Another 5
I'm going to
minutes.
play a sad chord for Dan looking at his watch.
Gritty Kitchen says that cricket show. There's enough cricket shows. Yappy says, what if you buy the right stuff and don't want to sell them? Then you end up with a place like this.
And then you end up with this.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't sold anything in a while. Did buy the Tube Tape Echo on Reverb.com though.
Yeah.
wherever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a good buy.
Peavey Ninja. One for Mick from Vyacheslav. I play blues rock, thinking about changing creamback to greenback in the 2-rock 2x12 cab to use with the 2-rock SP35. Is it worth it?
Going from creamback to greenback.
Yes.
If you play at a lower volume and you want a woodier bark from your speakers, I would say yes.
Okay.
2-rocks tend to be very loud and very powerful, so they might hurt the greenbacks a little bit. I don't mean blow them, but they might just be asking the greenback to work a bit harder than it wants to. It depends what greenbacks they are too. The 65 medium magnet sounds very different from the 75 heavy magnet. So I think you wouldn't hear, if you've got 75 heavy magnets, greenbacks will sound very, very, very different. If you've got 65 medium magnets, greenbacks will sound a bit different. Yeah. I've never tried greenbacks with my 2-rock actually.
No.
But I do love them in that Marshall cab. They sound fantastic in that cabinet.
Incredible.
And they record really, really, really well. What we need is a...
And Sam Varma says, hey lads, massive fan here. Just wanted to thank you for all the hard work. You've really made a difference to my playing over the past few years. All the best. You're so welcome.
Very nice to hear.
That's very
Sam.
nice to hear.
That's very nice to hear.
That's great.
Those are the, we get a lot of very lovely comments. The best ones are, wow, you've inspired me to do something, or I've put some work in and my playing's improved, or my tone's improved, and my drummer said my tone is improved. That's literally the best comment ever.
Yep. N. Dawson says, I saw Pat Metheny on the weekend. He used a Kemper, went straight to the desk. Sounded great. If it was out of sight, you wouldn't have known. Awesome. That's great. You can use stuff and sound awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Hurrah.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, great.
I don't know.
Stephen Doig Music says, question. Hello again from Scotland.
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 I didn't know that BBC Alba, I'd always assumed BBC Alba was something to do with Middle East.
Right.
BBC Alba is the kind of Gaelic Scottish BBC channel where you get Scottish language programming.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He says, could you possibly explain about the phaser steps 4, 6, 8, etc., and what it actually means? Yeah, sure. So it takes, to make the phase shift, it takes 2 stages. So you get a 2-stage phaser like the phase 45, add another 2 stages on that, you get the phase 90, another 2 stages, 6-stage phaser, 8-stage phaser. And so just the more stages, the deeper that phase is.
The more complex the sound is.
Yep.
We did a pick and mix earlier, pedal jams they're called now, with the Fender Lost Highway phaser. And that has a 4 and an 8-stage setting, and you can hear it very clearly, can't you?
Yeah.
One just sounds more complex than the other. So more stages, more complex phasey sound.
Yep. One of my favourite phasers is up there, my old MXR Phase 100.
Yeah.
And
Has that got 100 stages?
it's got many, 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 many stages. And it sounds absolutely mega.
How many stages is it?
I think it's it goes up to like an 8-stage.
Okay.
I think. Aaron Strike. Aaron Sternick. Aaron. Thank you very much, Aaron. That's very kind. I've just spent a couple of days recording at Abbey Road.
No way.
And an engineer was wearing a TPS t-shirt. Yes!
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
That's a crazy big deal.
You should do a show there exploring classic sounds. Oh, man. Well, Abbey Road is still a working, functioning studio. So, rocking up there just to film some stuff isn't really an option. But have a word with the engineer if he's wearing a TPS t-shirt. I don't know. There might be an in there. That would be awesome.
Places like that are just fantastic. I don't know if you, have you been to Abbey Road?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's awe-inspiring.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just seeing the pictures on the wall, we were in Studio 2. I went there when Yamaha were releasing the Road series, the ones that Chris Buck plays.
Oh, Revstar.
Revstar, when they were releasing that series of guitars. And went along there and we had a tour of the control room and stuff, and it's awesome. So good. Rockfather says, hey guys, did you ever talk about how to dial in an amp for recording, i.e. lower the bass or whatever?
Yeah, it's so hard to say, isn't it?
It is, because I kind of need the amp to sound the way I want it to sound to play properly.
Yeah, and then the engineer can worry about everything else.
Yeah.
Mic placement is just such a massive thing, because lowering the bass, you can do that just by moving the mic away a little bit.
I don't think I can say this, but check that out.
Yeah. I wouldn't say so. I'd say I'm holding on to it with a bit more care than that. Anyway.
Oh boy. Raphael Andrade. I'm so dyslexic. It's
Where is it?
ridiculous. This one. Andrade. Andrade?
I can't see
Raphael.
that. My glasses.
Andrade. Please explain how turning.
Andrade, I
Please
reckon.
explain how turning on the buffer on a wire makes the fuzz sound better. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that was confusing.
So the buffer is only on when the pedal is on. When the pedal is off, guitar is straight through, true bypass, into the fuzz, sounds great.
No, Dan. He's not talking about that.
No, I understand what it's talking about. But when the wire is turned on, the thing is the input impedance on the fuzz is very high. Sorry, it's very low. So if you've got a 15, 16K, 20K input impedance on the fuzz, you need something that's going to drive that. So like if you don't have a buffer in the wire, it's going to sound really ineffectual. But when the wire is on and that buffer's turned on, then it is going to drive the input to the fuzz, and you are going to get wiry fuzz tones. But that low input impedance is essential to the sound of the fuzz. So when your guitar is plugged into that low input impedance, it's that relationship between the inductance of the coil and the input impedance of the pedal that makes the sound.
So is the buffer making the impedance, the output impedance, higher or lower?
The buffer drives the input impedance of the fuzz. So the buffer makes the output impedance of this lower.
Yes. Yes. I think the confusion comes when you stick another pedal with a buffer before a fuzz and it sounds terrible.
Yeah, it will do. But that's if it's buffered in its bypass state, it's going to be awful.
But what about in its non-bypass state?
Okay, right. So the reason it sounds okay with the wah is because you are sweeping those frequencies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not creating some sort of tonal, pedal that you're leaving all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's because you're sweeping those frequencies,
Yes.
and that's what works.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. There are some things I just stop trying to understand. That's one of them.
Okay. Well, listen, we're coming to a gallop. What do you say? Galloping to a
Galloping to a stop.
Galloping to a stop.
Do we say that?
Robert Newby says, any overdrive and boost recommendations for a Strat and a 5E3 Deluxe? I've just finished my build and I love the amp. However, I hear they're a bit persnickety about the drive pedals they play with. Thanks, pals. You're very welcome. And thank you, Robert. That's very kind. I do love the sound of the 5E3, the Tweed thing. The reason I ended up with my Lazy J is because it works so well with pedals, and the Tweed thing is it's hard. They're hard to make work well with pedals.
Everyone will disagree because there'll be lots of you out there using 5E3 Deluxes with normal overdrive pedals, but I've always been of the opinion, a bit like a driving Marshall,
Sure.
a standard overdrive pedal isn't really the thing. You need something boosty, and our recommendation for you is Hudson Broadcast.
Yes.
Which works with everything. And one of the reasons it works so well is because you've got a low cut capability. You can take some of the bass out
because there's so much bass in there. And
Yeah.
the first thing that's going to happen is it just gets woolly.
And it's got everything from just a little bit of lovely bite all the way through to almost full-on crazy fuzz.
Yep. Cool.
Cracking pedal. Would recommend that unreservedly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'll do one. We'll do one more. Do one more. Okay.
Shall I play some ending music?
Yeah,
Dan?
play some ending music. That was really nice.
There you
That
go.
was really good.
There you go.
Matthew Riley. Right, to finish, Matthew Riley. I have a 66 Ampeg Reverber Rocket,
Reverb rocket, yeah.
which is characteristically bright amp, with a reconed roller from the 60s in it.
Too cool.
It has it is the most temperamental amp with dirt and fuzz. Yeah, and they're their own. They're like children. So they're born, and my son. I'm holding him in my arms. I'm thinking, I know I haven't stuffed up yet.
You'll buy me a pint one day.
And then I'm gonna nurture this child, and I'm gonna show him the ways of entering into manhood, and we're gonna do jiu-jitsu together, and we're gonna do, and then nothing. I'll tell you, this is really interesting, right? I had my daughter,
Yeah.
and we read all the baby books. She comes out, and everything that we did worked.
Yeah.
With her. To the point where we thought, we got this thing nailed.
What's everyone talking
We're
about?
really good. This is, you haven't read the baby books. I thought we'll have another one. We've got this nailed. Zach came along, nothing worked. Absolutely nothing. But what I'm saying is they are their own people. Your amps are their own people. So you can try and encourage them and things with the pedals, and some will work and some won't. But they have their own personality.
Totally feel your pain.
Yeah.
That thing where one night it's awesome and the next night it's really not awesome.
It's always awesome, but just different levels of challenging.
Hudson Broadcast.
Hudson Broadcast is
the answer
the
to
answer
everything.
to everything.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Done. Yes. Cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a fantastic week. We've got your vlog coming up tomorrow.
Yes. Vlog on a little pedalboard build tomorrow. And then Friday is us and Josh Scott and Anthony Macari
Yes.
and a load of vintage tone benders,
Yep.
which is pretty cool.
It's awesome. And next week should be my first vlog on the EP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Be really good.
Nice.
I can just work out this S-log nonsense. We'll be there. Brilliant, guys. Have a great week. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.